Creating the next generation of value, what is that? I don't know. Neither do you. But I believe it's going to be rooted and it's going to come from optimizing for human experience. So I've got this term I made up, human experience optimization. For me, it came out of the recent discussions around how search engine optimization, SEO, is starting to transition into answer engine optimization or generative engine optimization, AEO and GEO. But I think HEO is much more interesting and exciting and where I think the next generation of value is going to come from. So human experience optimization. What could that look like? Again, I don't know, but here's what I've been thinking about. Whatever is abundant creates new scarcity. And I think we've been living in an increasing world of automation, optimization, and convenience. And what we crave, because what is scarce today is human connection. We've heard the former US Surgeon General talk about loneliness being an epidemic. There is a great book written by the investigative journalist Johann Hari. I can't remember the title right now, but it's all about loneliness and depression and where it really stems from. And one of the core premises of the book is that the rise in people taking antidepressants and experiencing loneliness comes from a lack of human connection. I don't know about you, but I can remember as a kid growing up, neighbors knew each other. Neighbors helped each other. If somebody knocked on the door and asked for sugar because they ran out, you would give it to them. Today, if somebody knocked on your door, ask yourself, would you think about calling the police or would you simply give them sugar? I think our world has changed, and it is this lack of connection that has led to that loneliness epidemic. So I'm interested in thinking about the next generation of value stemming from human experience optimization. And as we talk about the abundance of automation and optimization and convenience, I think there's going to be a parallel opportunity, like a yin and yang, if you will, to think about human experience optimization. So here's a couple of examples. One is everyone's talking about robo-taxis. I love taking the Waymos when I'm in Phoenix, that I spend quite a bit of time in during the winter because my brother and sister live there and I don't like the Canadian winters anymore. And I take the Waymos, the self-driving cars, and it's a fun experience. But sometimes I want to get into the Uber because I'm going a half hour away because I'm going to a doctor's appointment or somewhere else. And I want to have a conversation. I want to talk to somebody. I want to be with another human. I want connection. So I think fast forward 5 years, 10 years, as there's Waymos, Tesla robo-taxis, and all these other self-driving cars, they'll cost $5 to take us like 5 miles or 25 miles or 50 miles away because they will be optimized to the extreme. And it'll all be on demand, it'll be easy, it'll be convenient. But I think at the same time, there will be services that will allow us to say, can there also be a human in the car? And maybe I just want a human in the car. Not because they're going to drive, the car is going to do that. It's going to be better at driving than the human. But I want a human in the car because I want to talk to someone. I feel lonely, I want connection, I want a conversation. Or maybe I have a greater need. Maybe I'm going to visit Singapore this summer and I want somebody in the car that maybe grew up in Singapore if that person is available. So while I'll pay $5 for the car to take me from point A to point B, maybe I'll pay $50 to have the human in the car and have the conversation. Every abundance creates a new scarcity. I think we've already seen it in coffee shops over the last few years with the flourishing of independent coffee shops. We all have access to Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, and all these other coffee chains where it is automated and optimized for our convenience. You could go on your app, you can pre-make your coffee with the 33 ingredients in it, diabetes in a cup as I call it, if you go to Starbucks. And then you can walk into the Starbucks with your headphones on, not talk to another human being, and pick it up from the order ahead counter. But we've seen a flourishing of independent coffee shops over the last few years in cities of all sizes across North America. Because I think North America, more than any other part of the world, is automated, optimized, and convenient at the expense of human experience optimization. And these independent coffee shops don't have the order ahead apps. You have to stand in line. and then you end up talking to a human being to place your order, usually the owner, her name, she knows your name, some of the other regulars. And that coffee shop becomes a place of connection and community. And we end up paying more in terms of dollars and time for that experience, but we're willing to do it because what is abundant is automation, optimization, and convenience. What has become increasingly scarce is human connection. And I think we're going to see this happen in all facets of business. Like we've talked about what is sales in the age of AI. I think what we will value is not the give me the pricing information in a convenient way, do the demo in a way that is convenient for me at a time that is convenient for me. The AIs are going to be able to do that. What I'm going to value is the experience of connecting with a great sales rep who is knowledgeable about my industry, the space, what's affecting me, but who takes the time to become knowledgeable about me. That's human experience optimization. I think if I'm an HR leader or I'm somebody applying to that company, is what's going to be automated and optimized and convenient is submitting my resume, evaluating the resume based on skills and everything else. But what we will crave is that connection, that conversation to get to know each other. Who am I? What do I value? Why do I like doing what I like doing? What experiences throughout my life, in my childhood, in my adolescence, from my education, informed the value that I want to create in the world and what I want to put out into the world. And I want to have a conversation and connect with that HR leader to really understand their culture. How do they make decisions? So beyond just the value statements on the wall, tell me about your history. What's the origin story, the why story of this company? And how did that get reinforced or evolve over time? That's human experience optimization. And I think that's where value is going to come from. And it's got to be part of how we each individually think about our own career evolution, how an organizational leader thinks about evolving that company for tomorrow, and thinking about how value can come from human experience optimization, and how we all do this collectively together. But there is so much value to create there. And I'm just going to go back to that robo-taxi example for a moment. You might be thinking, why would you pay $5 for the ride and $50 for the human? Because ultimately, what we pay is about what we value. And anything that is automated, optimized, and convenient, that price goes to zero. The things that are scarce, connection, human experience, is what we value. And that is what we will pay for. So I think there's a huge amount of value to create around human experience. So that's where HEO comes from.